India is the third largest producer of electricity in the world, but India's electricity sector is dominated by fossil fuels, in particular coal. Government is putting efforts in producing energy through renewable sources. Some of the main sources of renewable energy is wind, hydro, solar and biomass. Talking about the wind power, India has the fourth largest installed wind power capacity. India aims to produce 60 gigawatt of wind power capacity by 2022. Wind power's share of worldwide electricity usage in 2021 was almost 7%. Talking about the hydropower, India has the fifth largest installed hydroelectric power capacity. Out of the total power generation installed capacity in India, hydropower contributes about 21.5% and about 20% of all electricity is generated by hydropower worldwide. Now let's talk about the solar power. India has established nearly 42 solar parks to make land available to the promoters of solar plants. Indian government had an initial target of 20 gigawatt capacity for 2022, which was achieved 4 years ahead of the schedule. Around 1% of the global energy came from solar technologies. Talking about the biomass provides 32% of all primary energy use in the country at present. Biomass potential India is a tropical country blessed with sunshine and rains and thus offers an ideal environment for biomass production. Let's start our analysis of the sector by running it through the first level, that is, the profitability of the energy sector. As revenue generation of energy sector is directly dependent upon the population growth and the GDP expansion, according to the Allied Market Research, energy as a service market to reach $112.7 billion globally by 2030 at 7.6% CAGR from 2021 to 2030. Also, the global renewable energy market was valued at $881.7 billion in 2020 and is projected to reach $1,977.6 billion by 2030, growing at a CAGR of 8.4% from 2021 to 2030. The demand for energy is expected to rise as country develops. In 2021, annual global energy investment rose $1.9 trillion, rebounding nearly 10% from 2020. Also, global energy demand increased by 4.6% in 2021. Major global players in the sector include Veolia, NLX, Honeywell International Corporation, and General Electric. If we keep Indian market into focus, we find that India's energy consumption is expected to nearly double as the nation's GDP expands to an estimated 8.6 trillion by 2040. In India, industrialization is a major driving force of energy sector. It accounts for about 10% of world growth in industrial value added in terms of purchasing power parity. Here are some of the key observations. India will become the fastest growing market for natural gas with demand more than tripling by 2040. Secondly, coal currently dominates India's electricity sector, accounting for over 70% of overall generation, and its demand will also rise to 772 million tons in 2040 from the current 590 million tons. Thirdly, of course, renewable energy sector resources demand is also rising. Its growth is second largest in the world after China. Now let's talk about the second level of our analysis, that is the profit pools, which are the key areas in which huge gains are possible. The global energy and environment industry is going through an unprecedented transformation driven by innovation and disruptive business model. The advent of greener, smarter and more connected products and services will transform the society into a digital and sustainable domain, offering enhanced efficiency, environmental performance, productivity, flexibility and profitability. However, in the wake of COVID-19, many companies in the energy sector are struggling with pricing pressures, commoditization and industry disruption. Despite the challenges, there are still many growth opportunities for the companies in the industry. The top 5 key areas expected to transform the industry in 2022 include: Number 1. Energy transformation. The move to a decarbonized electricity system is expected to continue to gain pace, with coal plant closures increasing and those that are open but utilized for fewer hours. Investments in renewable energy are expected to accelerate. Utility scale investments will stay strong, but residential and commercial solar PV systems are forecast to see very strong growth. increasingly in combination with battery energy storage, fundamentally changing the energy system. An average of $340 billion will be invested annually in renewable energy sources over the next decade. Global climate change, government targets and incentives that mandate investment in renewable energy and the declining renewable energy project cost are the key. Number 2. Sustainability and circular economy. Driven by climate action and accelerated due to COVID-19, industries will embark on a new era of growth opportunities linked to water, energy, and other critical sources in an increasingly connected world that will be catalyzed by innovation towards net zero. Number 3. Smart and cognitive buildings. Frost and Sullivan predicts that AI will continue to be leveraged for carbon savings, energy savings, and occupants' comfort and productivity in buildings. The next opportunities for AI-powered buildings will focus on occupants' health and safety, optimal space design, and crowd analytics. Number 4. Electrification of transport, mobility, heating, and industrial processes. Factors driving the need to electrify the transport, buildings, and industrial processes will include increasing stagnant energy efficiency requirements in most global geographies, corporate sustainability agendas, and continued technological and solution advancement, providing better return on investments for electrified solutions. Number 5. New service-based business models. Motivated by the need to minimize market risk and improve monetary return, customer preferences are shifting from upfront payment models to OPEX-based models where they pay for guaranteed outcomes. Digital technologies are enabling new anything as a service SaaS models to come to life. Now let's talk about the third level, that is, how is this sector adapting to the changes in the business environment? To understand that better, let us first go through the problems faced by the energy sector while using conventional sources of energy. The first one is air pollution. Use of conventional energy sources produces air pollution, which is a major source of health problems worldwide. Thermal power plants cause greenhouse gas emissions such as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide, which contribute to the global warming directly. Nuclear power plant does not emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The major disadvantage of nuclear power plant is that the nuclear fuel itself is highly dangerous and disposal of radioactive waste is very expensive. The main disadvantage of the conventional energy are ozone depletion, global warming, and acid rain. The ozone layer has historically protected the earth from the harmful UV rays, although in recent decades this protection has diminished due to the stratospheric ozone depletion. The non-renewable energy sources will eventually run out. It means that humans will not be able to base their lives on them forever. In fact, our reserves of many non-renewable energy sources may run out by the end of this century. The renewable generation all over the world varies depending on their resources and demand. India has set an ambitious target to achieve a capacity of 175 gigawatt worth of renewable energy by the end of 2022, which expands to 500 gigawatt by 2030. Government of India has set targets to reduce India's total projected carbon emissions by 1 billion tons by the end of 2030. Now let's talk about the steps taken by the government for the adaptation of green energy. 45 solar parks of aggregate capacity of 37 gigawatt have been approved in India. The world's largest renewable energy park of 30 gigawatt capacity solar wind hybrid project is under installation in Gujarat. Government of India introduced the production linked incentive scheme in high efficiency solar PV modules for enhancing India's manufacturing capabilities and exports. Promotion of electric vehicles and benefits are given by government in purchase of EVs. Initiatives such as International Solar Alliance and Paris Climate Deal is promoting the green energy. Overall, there are huge opportunities in the energy sector, and if used properly, it could create huge wealth for the investors. That's all for this month's analysis of energy sector. See you guys next month.